I'm learning how to watercolor, mostly from Andrea Nelson Art. I've been really interested in doing this watercolor series that she's doing for the month of July. That is a summer watercolor series. I looked at a million different watercolor kind of sketchbooks and I never picked one up. So I'm going to make one instead, and that's what I'm doing today. I have this Canson XL watercolor paper. This is 9 by 12, 30 sheets, and I believe it's cold press. It is cold press. I just took a bunch of sheets and cut them down. So now I have 12 by 6 sheets, and I'm going to fold them so that they'll be 6 by 6 pages. The number of pages that I picked out will give me 32 sides. I'm not sure if it's going to be every single day, but I figured if not, I would still have room to grow with this little book. So I'm going to fold them down, and I'm going to use one of the offcuts as the spine piece like I do, and we will go from there. This is heavy duty paper, so you may want to get your scoreboard for this. Has anybody seen my Teflon bone folder? Because I cannot find it. It is the most lost item in my craft room. It's the thing I lose the most. I'm gonna score them all before I fold them. If I use 3 pages in each signature, the middle page is gonna stick out about 1/8 of an inch, even if I get it really tight. So if that bothers you, then you can remedy that by using fewer pages. The reason that this is happening is because of the thickness of these pages. And let's see here. I wonder if it says... This is 140 pound. So you can definitely do 2 pages in one signature. I actually have 8 pages. So I have 3 in one, 3 in another one, so and 2 in this last one, which I'll put in the middle for whatever reason. I'm going to cut down a piece of one of the offcuts. So this is 6 inches tall. So I'm going to cut this down to 6 inches, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to go from there. When I'm figuring out where to score my spine strip. Generally, 95% of the time I use a spine strip. I'll just kind of line up the signatures together, kind of let them naturally, and then I will just kind of set them there, because this is how they kind of naturally want to lay. I would say it's going to be, I would say, an inch. So that means that the middle of my signature will be at least an inch wide. And that's where I will be sewing my signatures. Did I say that right? The middle of my spine strip will be about an inch wide when I score it. So let's see what we can do here. 1, 2. So this is about 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to make a couple quick score marks here. One at 1 inch, one at 2 inches. And one at 1.5. This gives me a little valley for each of my signatures to lean into as I'm sewing them in. So this is where I'll put the middle one, then of course the right on the right and the left on the left. So generally we don't want our signatures sewn in too close to where the cover will bend. So I'm going to give it some room and do a 1/4 inch here and another 1/4 inch here. Wait, is that right? Here. Whoop. Another 1/4 inch here. I hope that makes sense. So I have this part, this first 3/4 of an inch will be attached to the front cover. This last 3/4 of an inch will be attached to the back cover. And then in between there, I have a score for each of my 3 signatures. Again, if you just want to make the score marks, I've got one at 3/4, 1, 1.5, 2, and 2 1/4. I'm going to score. I already scored. I am going to fold at the score mark as I need it. So I'm going to sew in the middle signature first. So basically folding this in half and using that score mark that's at 1.5 inches. My favorite thing to use right now is this purple wax linen thread. And it is going to kind of match my cover. I'm going to use this tool, I think, for poking my guide holes. And today I'm going to be using my twin hole stitch. So let me get some clips. might actually need the awl. This paper's pretty heavy. I'm taking this signature, this is the middle signature where I have 2 pages, and I'm just going to lean it in to the fold here, and I'm going to clip it on each side. Pull it down. Again, making sure that it's just kind of right up in that fold. Now I'm going to make my holes. Let's see here. Oh, actually this tool is working just fine. And then for my twin stitch, you make your 3rd hole just like you would for a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You go about between 1/8 and 1/4, so maybe 1/3 of an inch down, and you make a 2nd hole. So it really is a 4-hole pamphlet stitch technically, but I don't, but it's not like the traditional 4-hole pamphlet stitch that I see online, so I just have been calling it the twin hole pamphlet stitch because these two are twinsies. All right. Just like the 3-hole stitch, you're going to start somewhere in the middle, pick a side. Actually, let me go back. Because of the nature of this book, because it's going to be watercolor, I'm going to sew it from the back. This does look a little off-center here, but it'll be fine. Gonna leave a tail. Gonna go in through the top one. Come back up to this one. And so now we have met in the middle. We are going to ignore that hole and just go in the empty one. So usually in a 3-hole pamphlet stitch now you would go back through this same hole where the thread is, and a lot of times that is difficult because it's really tight there, and you can potentially sew through the thread, which you don't want to do because you won't be able to pull it very tight. But that's why we have this 4th hole here. I'm going to go through that 4th hole, come back around. I'm going to let my needle go. And if we take a look at it, we do still, just like a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, we want one of these on one side and one coming out the other. So I'm just going to move this one over. Easy peasy. I'm going to pull a little bit and then tie my knot. Oh, before you tie your knot, always kind of check and make sure everything is pulled tight and looks good. It does. Sometimes it can get caught on the clip or something like that. So, all right. So first signature, ready to go. Now we're going to do the next signature. So I'm just going to fold at this next mark here. This is the score that is at the 1-inch mark, or it could be at the 2-inch mark, depending on what orientation you're going. So I have that scored. I'm going to do the same thing now. I'm going to take this folded piece as my guide, just lean the signature fold into the fold of the spine strip. Make some holes. Let's see. Whoop, that's not good. 1, 2, 3, and right next to it, 4. All right, that's ready. Did it the wrong way again. So I've decided to take my clips and re-clip it, hopefully not moving my guide holes too much, but I want to make sure to clip together, to clip my new signature that I'm sewing in to the signature that's already sewed in. And that's my my preference for doing all of the signature binding. Let's see how we did here. Gonna give it a little yank. There we go. This is my tail. Don't get it confused with these other guys. Do this one. Make sure that got all the way through. All right, again, I'm going to go into this fourth hole. I'm going to try to get the tail on the opposite side of this tail. I mean, if you don't immediately, that's fine. You can just move it after, like I did last time, but there we go. Gonna just pull it a little bit, make sure it is tight. There we go. You can do a double knot if you like. There's our second signature. And then we're going to do the same process for the last one. I'll probably speed this one up since you've seen what I did twice. Okay, we almost have a book. Now I'm just going to find some front and back covers to attach to my text block, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I went ahead and folded on these score marks. So I have 3/4 of an inch here, and then 3/4 of an inch here. I have 2 pieces of chipboard. They are not very heavy. I don't know what weight this is, but they are also, they're 6x6 squares-ish. And I am going to glue them to these little sections. Just like that. Gonna use some art glitter glue. Just gonna fit that here. I'm gonna pull it up, fold it just so it kind of leans into that fold. Whoops. It's already stuck. This is going over a little bit, but that's fine. And then this one as well. Should probably move the light down further. Again, pull up that fold, lean it in there. Sometimes I will create signatures and then glue them into a spine piece that's just this large, which would be about 12 inches. Wait, 14, because we have 6, and then 2, and then 6. But I wasn't sure where I was going, and also I guess I do have paper that's 14 inches. I have cardstock that is 11 by 17. So there's that. And now I am just going, let's see. For this, I'm just gonna cut off the very point of this to make it kind of look mitered, not murdered. And now I have this napkin. It is a cloth napkin that I've been hoarding for a long time. These colors are really colors that I'm really into right now. I'm gonna tap down my glue and cover it. Looks like this will fit. I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to cut off the seam here. Let's see. Let's just cut a piece off here. I don't know if this is gonna rip. Sure does. For now, I'm just going to cut at this end piece. I'll tear across here. Hopefully this will work. Tear this one. Or cut this one as well. Have you ever seen cloth napkins that have this little thing here? I don't know if it's so you can fold up your napkin and put something in it, or why it's there. I'm not that fancy. Okay, let's see what we can do. It's a little too tall. I really do want to tear it again to make the torn edge across the top here, but I'm afraid that I'm going to cut it way too close. What do you think? What should I do? Also, bring that in. I want to fold this over just a little bit. You can definitely get out all of your tools and do this scientifically or mathematically. But it does appear to be smaller on this side than it is on this side. Maybe not. It's just a little wonky. Just trying to see if it's about the same size all the way down. Yeah, seems like it. Now this is a cloth napkin. I'm sure that they weren't too worried about getting it exactly straight. I'm going to grab some, now this is a watercolor, basically a watercolor practice book or sketchbook. But I feel like I do want to put some sort of closure. No, maybe I don't. It'll get in the way. Flip it this way. Okay, I have this whole big piece of napkin over here, so I am going to attempt to tear it. Actually, if I cut it, I can also just like loosen up the fibers, right? Like this. So let's see if I can do that. Do I have a pencil? I don't, but I have a white pen. Let's see if this works. I also have a chalk pen in the other room, so I should, or a chalk pencil. I should get that instead. So I grabbed a couple actual tools. I have a T-square. And this is one of those chalk markers. It's got a little rolly right here and the chalk comes out. So I'm gonna mark it at 6 inches, right above 6 inches, like 6 1/16 or so. And then I'm gonna do it again over here. I'm going to take my ruler and connect these two lines before I cut. Whoops, a little wonky. Okay. Well, close. Let's see how that feels. Oh, I'm gonna get yellow chalk on my watercolor paper now. That seems much better. Very cool. I might work on just a little bit of pulling this around. Should probably get a tool to do this, huh? Oh, there we go. Okay. Now for gluing. I am using art glitter glue for this. And so I'm just going to do one side first. Something like that. Let's see if we can glue this whole thing before the glue starts to dry. Maybe. Maybe not. Only need a little bit of this glue. Okay. I'm gonna glue the spine to the cloth, but I'm only gonna glue it just right here. I'm gonna tie this tighter. I'm gonna glue it along this edge and along this edge. That way, let's see. That way it won't be so tight against the spine that you'll see all the thread marks or the thread lumps. Also, probably could. Let me make sure this is all good. Gonna go ahead and double knot it. That loose one that I was grabbing at was actually not even attached there, so that was interesting. You can also kind of tape these down so they're under a piece of tape, which makes them look less bumpy. Such as this or this. Let's try this again. This thing's getting in my way. Match it up. I want to pull it tight, but not too tight. Go. So it is loose, but when I open it, it's not going to get bunchy when it's sitting on the table. Would have been cool if I would have had one of the, I don't know, what is this? The waves, the wave lines in the middle, but I didn't do that. Okay, so one of our options is to cut the fabric. The other is to fold it over and put another piece of paper. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to cut it. You can add a little glue there if that's actually loose. Realize that I should have it this way so I can actually see what's happening. See what's happening. All right. So I'm going to work on, I mean, probably not actively now, but these threads just getting thready. Gonna add some glue here. Sometimes it's funny, right, when you decide you want a finished piece, but like if I were going to sell something like this or give it away as a gift even, I would do a full thing. I would miter the corners. I would use bigger chipboard. Once I folded in the corners, I would put another piece of paper to cover up the inside seams. But for my purpose, this is going to work just fine. And I love this cover because I love this fabric. These colors are really colors that I'm gravitating to right now, like teal turquoise and red purple, and of course like a dark blue purple are my favorites right now. So let me cut this, and I think that's it. Okay, I don't know what the front or the back is yet. Probably this will be the front, but we'll see. There's my book. I've got 32 pages to paint on now. And they'll all sit flat. Just got to work them out here a little bit. Thanks for joining me and watching this one, and I'll see you in the next one.